Okay, let's get the basics out of the way. This is the Kraken chart. These are all 4-hourly candles, and Bitcoin is trading at $46,922. Now, it seems to be operating for the last few weeks from as back as basically the start of December. It seems to be operating in between this, in this box here, in this kind of rectangle, where the top end of this price action is around 52,000, and then the lower end is down around 45,500. Okay, still well above the $42,000 previous all-time high represented here by the yellow perforated lines. And as usual, I tend to represent all the previous major all-time highs by perforated lines. Of course, a lot of them will be found above here. Right, so what's actually happened? I'm going to get rid of this box here. I'm going to switch to the daily here. So I'm going to clean this up a small bit. So switching to the daily, and just kind of recapping on what's happened. We're basically, there's a lot of resistance, a lot going on here. It might seem boring now, but I reckon that kind of lack of volatility could come to an end sometime in January. So if you want to keep it really, really simple, Bitcoin is still in a downtrend. So here, we have the all-time high up here at about 69,000. And then here, we have this point of contact here around 52,000. So you can, do whatever, you can say whatever you want. Bitcoin is in a downtrend. That is a fact. However, it's not all doom and gloom. Getting rid of that red resistance line, I spoke about this in my last episode number 54. Just taking a look at what has happened. So there's your all-time high. Then we had a rejection off this level down here. Then we have a rejection of this level down here, which is down around about 59,000, still in a downtrend, and then eventually broke up through this white resistance line. Now, what's really interesting and what's really important is if you look at that white resistance line now, look what's after happening. So on the 23rd of December, that's Christmas Eve, Bitcoin broke up through this resistance line, traded above it, and it's come down. And look at those perfect bounces. Look at those perfect bounces that we had on the 29th, 30th, and then even yesterday. So 29th, you have a point of contact, the 30th again, and here it's just above it here, but it looks like it's taking a little bit of a bounce. And what I'm interested to see is this white line going to hold, and is Bitcoin going to do the very bullish thing of flip previous resistance that it was struggling to get above to new support, or is it going to fall back? If this was the bounce here, that would be majorly bullish. Although I am skeptical because, as I mentioned in my last episode number 54, that January is a traditionally and statistically bearish month for Bitcoin. The price tends to drop down from wherever it starts. So we're now around 47. You can expect the price to drop down. Again, this is just not financial advice. I'm not qualified to give that. It's just based on my own research. So the usual, do your own research. Never invest any more than you can afford to lose. There's no such thing as a risk-free investment. This is just what I'm seeing. My own interpretation. I would strongly encourage that if you're into Bitcoin, you do the same. Quick question. Do you think Bitcoin will hit $100,000 in 2022? Let me know in the comment section down below. Now, switching to the logarithmic chart, this is still a daily candles, by the way. I'm going to talk about this green line. So if you look at this green line, it's kind of like a long-term or legacy support line. So I've started it down here back on the 9th of December 2020, over a year ago, right? Bitcoin obviously had that blast off, and it's very, very successful Q1 of 2021. Then we had the China FUD and the Bitcoin ban and the Elon Musk FUD and all that kind of fear, uncertainty, and doubt caused a massive crash down to about $29,000, I think its lowest point, and it took a bounce here on the 21st of July. Back up again here and had this, that's where the scam wick, this kind of anomaly wick here, this really, really long wick to the downside, basically. What that means is if you look at the candle body, the price would have opened that day here. This is on the 4th of December 2021. The price would have opened here around 53 to 54 and then dropped down and closed at 49, but somewhere during the day it dropped all the way down as far as about $40,000, but it was quickly bought back up. So when you see a candle like this, where you have like the candle body here and then the wick to the downside, that's kind of a sign that there's strong support or buying pressure. People obviously had buy orders set there and people were stepping in. The bulls came in and just offered support. So this is how kind of it looks like Bitcoin could be building a base. I'm going to stand by what I said in the last episode. I think January is going to be kind of like a non-event, but I do think it's going to be a bearish candle, probably drop down a bit further. Be interesting to see if this support line is respected though. Now I'm sticking with the daily chart, but I've switched back. I've turned off the log chart back to the linear chart. So if you look at this line here, so we had the previous all-time high back in April before the big collapse, about $65,000. So the point of contact here, that was around September. And eventually broke up through this. So what Bitcoin was in there is, it was like a big massive bullish pennant really. Because you could have like this resistance line here, your point of contact here, and eventually broke through it. And then you had like support here going back as far as the 25th of November, and support here, point of contact here. So you have basically like this triangular pattern, or like a bullish pennant, and it broke bullish or to the upside out of it and hit a new all-time high. So that could act again. Remember, I've said it before, I'll say it again. One of the most bullish things an asset can do is flip prior or previous support into, previous resistance into new support. So we have a lot of support here. I spoke about this white line here. We have this green line here as well, which is the legacy trend line. And there's also this previous resistance hasn't really been tested there a bit. Like if you look here, all the price action here remained above it. So that looks bullish as well. And the last level I'm looking at that I've mentioned before, and I mentioned again, is this yellow perforated line. It's a previous all-time high, about $42,000. I think that's as low as we're going to go. So how I see this playing out is that Bitcoin kind of maybe slowly bleeds for the rest of January, maybe goes down along this white line here, and kind of the lowest I see it going is about 42,000. But I do think January is going to be bearish because statistically it tends to be bearish.